Hello, welcome to today's video diary for Finding My Way with Pi, Purpose, Intention, and Emotion. I am Pi, and this is essentially like a part 2 of conversation that I started with hubby yesterday. And the topic is self-worth. We were talking about this topic because I realized over the last week or so that I was feeling agitated and antsy and wanting to get stuff done. I got still, quieted my mind, gave myself some space to think about it. I journaled, I did some meditation, and ultimately where I landed was being able to identify that for me, the right thing right now is exactly what I'm doing, and it's okay that I'm doing it. I've got the support of my loved ones. Our family is secure. Why am I so antsy to be when I'm doing the thing that I know is what's right for me, when I tune in and I listen to my inner voice? So then that became the thing that I was thinking about, and it occurred to me that I believe I feel so antsy to be doing more, to be bringing in an income, to be feeling like I'm contributing more because I'm tying it to my self-worth. Now, the conversation on the video diary previously, I think it was 116 or 117. I'd have to go look at the numbers, but it was a conversation with hubby and I, and the question is, what is self-worth? Because I started realizing, brought it up to my consciousness. I'd had this buried deep inside of me, like a belief or something that I had internalized, that my self-worth was tied to how much income I make and my title. And when I say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous. I'm betting, though, that when I say it out loud, there's at least one of you who's listening to this that's nodding in realization that, oh my gosh, I think I've done that too. So I think it's normal, but it begged the question, well, what is self-worth then? Because I don't want to leave myself wide open to someone else's definition of self-worth. I don't want to stay stuck with my old belief of self-worth being tied to how much money I bring in or what my title is. So I've been thinking about this. And what I'm discovering is that in its healthiest form, self-worth is how you value yourself. So here's a couple of definitions. It's the internal sense of being good enough and worthy of love and belonging. It's an internal sense of being worthy of love. It's your evaluation of yourself as capable and a valuable human being, deserving of consideration and respect. And it's a gauge of how much we respect, love, and value ourselves. And then it hit me. Oh, in the corporate leadership position that I was in, and in that culture, what was valued when people listened to you, which I swear it doesn't happen anymore. They listen to you, but no. How about let me change how I say that? Because I don't feel like I had a voice even though I was a leader. There was only one voice in the corporate world that I was aware of, and that was money. So if we weren't talking money, You weren't heard. Let me rephrase this. The only way to have a seat at the table so that you could use your voice, even though it wasn't listened to, was through title, and title equaled income. And I lived in that space for a long time. And it got more intense that way over the last 4 years. And somewhere along the way, I tied my self-worth to that. I also, if you've watched this journey, if you watched the daily video diaries, you've been seeing this journey unfold. You saw my struggle. You saw when I resigned. And you are now witnessing this awakening process. And this is part of it. This realization that A, I tied my self-worth to my title and my income, and B, my self-worth, even though I had achieved my title and income, was deteriorating over the last 4 years. Why would that be if I tied it to my title and my income? Because my title grew and my salary grew during that time frame. So why would my self-worth deteriorate if that's what I tied it to? Well, here's why. Because the true definition of self-worth is a gauge of how much we respect, love, and value ourselves. And I made myself stay somewhere that I knew was not right for me anymore, even though I had not admitted it to myself. My body knew, my heart knew, my soul knew, and I persisted because I loved my people and I had been with that company for so long. It broke my heart that it ended that way, that I would have to resign because it was no longer tenable to be there. But that was the reality, and that was the truth. I ignored it. I suppressed it. I stuffed it down, and I did not take care of myself by doing that. Instead, I ignored myself. I denied myself. I even belittled myself. Things like, what are you doing? People wish and pray to have a position like this and an income like this. Suck it up. That's how I talk to myself. Let me ask you a question. When someone speaks to you like that, do you feel respected and considered and loved? No. I was doing to myself what I felt like the job was doing to me. And because I couldn't love myself and respect myself and consider myself and value myself enough to listen to myself and make a change, my self-worth deteriorated until I was a husk of myself. So let me tell you what's really cool. Since I made the decision to leave, and it's now been about a month, it's a grieving process for me. But even with the emotional piece of this, what I'm focusing on right now is how to listen to myself, how to understand my emotions, how to listen to my inner voice, and let that guide me for what's right for me. And that's the highest form of self-love that I know. And my self-worth is getting better, and it's healing, and I feel like I'm more capable of being present for others, of being present for my family, all because I started here. So self-worth is important. And what's incredibly relevant is how our self-worth is affected by our actions and if we're listening to ourselves or not. And it's a slow burn over time too. I didn't realize how low I had sunk until I was at rock bottom and in crisis mode. Well, I suppose maybe not crisis mode, but it did not feel good at all. the change feels good, and the awakening and the understanding. And the last thing I'll say about this is I do not regret the struggle. I do not regret how I treated myself, because I had to force that in order to learn what I'm learning now. Sometimes we have to do it the wrong way so that we can learn the right way for us. That's all that was. And having some distance and some space and some stillness to be able to understand that has been key to this healing and recovery process and this reawakening of myself. And now I'm starting to enjoy it. Now when the little bumps come, like those uncomfortable or painful emotions, I'm like, ooh, what do we have here? And what little nugget of wisdom do you have for me? It's a neat process. So self-worth, it is a thing. What do you attribute yours to? Do you have it attributed to the right things? It's internal. It's not something outside of you. Well, thanks for being with me on this journey. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope it helps you too. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.